All right, welcome back to another episode of Generation L.
Yeah, buddy.
So this is, well, I guess it's the second, but really it's the first segment that me and Joey are doing by ourselves. This is going to be one of our fitness topic segments, and we're going to do this every once in a while. You know, we're not really structuring these. These are more loose, kind of free-formed. We're going to do them when we feel like, and kind of not stick to the script. We'll go off the script a little bit.
Right, just kind of chit chat and do what we do.
We're gonna have a general idea of what we're talking about. So, for instance, this one is gonna be nutrition, and I think that's gonna be interesting to a lot of you guys because I've gotten a lot of questions about nutrition, and in my opinion, nutrition is the most important aspect of fitness.
Right, it's where it all starts. It's where it all begins. The foundation starts through your nutrition, and being able to build a better and stronger physique can really start right here.
Yeah. So let's get into it here. I guess we'll just start with talking about what our days of eating looks like. So I'll start with my day. My day's the same every single day. It's been like that for, 3 years. I've eaten the same breakfast now for 3 years in a row. Obviously, when I'm on vacation or if I'm somewhere where I can't do that, I don't. And I don't stress about it too much. I try to eyeball my numbers. Keep in mind that I, track macros every single day when I'm out on vacation. And I can't do that, or if I'm out in the field, or if I'm wherever and I don't have access to that, I'll just eyeball it, kind of intuitive eating kind of deal.
Yep.
But so I'll start my day with 5 servings egg whites, 2 whole eggs, 2 servings of oatmeal, 1 serving of almond butter, and 1 serving of strawberries, and then about 80 grams of cal. And that's pretty much my pre-workout meal because I train in the morning, so that's what I'll eat before. It's a big pre-workout meal, but I like it. It keeps me fueled for the workout. And then when I get back, I do my recovery meal, my post-workout meal, which will be 11 ounces of sweet potato. I'll wait about 10 to 25 minutes, and then I'll eat my second recovery meal, which
Why do you wait about 10 to a short amount of time?
Just to help space it out. There's no reason for
Okay.
it. Just so I'm
Okay.
not eating everything at once,
Yeah.
because it's a lot to eat.
Right.
But then I'll break out the real recovery meal after I get my carbs in right away. I'll do I do 2 high fiber tortillas. Helps with fiber, obviously. I'll put spinach on there. I don't measure my spinach at all. I just put a little bit on there. 3 ounces of carrots, 85 grams of broccoli, 6 ounces of chicken breast, and then I think I'll do hot sauce on it. I don't measure the hot sauce. I don't do much hot sauce. I'll do a little bit. And then after that, I'll finish off with either 1.3 ounces of almond butter or some kind of nut. So, and I'm throwing a lot of numbers at you guys right now, but that's just because that's how I look at everything. It's a lot of numbers. So then after that, I'll do my first dinner. That's going to be about 8 ounces of ground turkey breast, 99 lean. I'll throw 0.5 ounces of avocado in with that. And then I'll do about 50 to 70 grams of quinoa. And that depends on kind of where my carbs are at for the day. I'm flexible with that. And then for my last meal, the meal I eat before I go to bed, I do 2 servings of egg whites, 4 whole eggs, and that's it. I might put some seasonings on there, but that's it. That's my last meal of the day. I am then done eating. I forgot to add in that I do a protein shake at the gym when I am done training. So I bring that with me and I do that right there. So that's my day of eating every single day, and I love it. I don't get tired of it.
That's good. That's really good. For me, in the morning when I wake up, I usually don't wake up early enough to make a nice breakfast, so I grab a granola bar on the way out. I'll kind of force feed myself water in the morning. Water is huge, very important. And then after my classes, I'll come back here. I'll usually make like eggs and toast. My diet's not as strict as Grant's, but it's something that's worked for me, and I've seen results off of it. And until I don't see results, I'm not really going to switch anything up, or until I get bored of it. And I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. But so then after breakfast, I'll usually go work out. After I come back from that, I stop at Herbert's and Gerbert's here in Whitewater. Use the meal plan because it's free.
Yeah.
And then grab a chocolate milk. You don't need the soda. Grab a Nutri-Grain bar that they give along with you. And then, depending on how hard I go in the gym, I'll have sweet potatoes along with it. Like especially if it's a leg day or a back day where you're targeting that central nervous system quite a bit and you're attacking it. And just being able to fuel the muscles that you feel like you worked really hard on. And then, of course, a protein shake with all that. And then I usually can't eat till later, so what I'll do, I'll have about 2 servings of rice and about a serving and a half of some sort of meat, whether that's chicken, ground turkey, tuna, kind of just... And whenever I guess my body feels hungry or it needs energy, I like to feed myself just so that I'm not at a shortage of nutrients, I guess. That way I'm always keeping fuel in my body, being able to kind of recover properly and being able to attack the next day in the gym. I mean, that's kind of my day. And sure, I'll cheat quite often. It's kind of, I don't know, I'm a college kid. I'm not too strict with it yet. It's just not what I do. But I would like to, this summer I'm really going to attack my nutrition and kind of where I'm going with that to create a great physique and not only look better but feel better mentally. So
yeah, no, that's really good. Yeah, cheat meals for me, I didn't talk about that, but I probably do one every month, one a month. For instance, my last cheat meal I had was about 2 weeks ago, and I went to Five Guys. I got 2 double cheeseburgers, 2 large fries. You know, I had the fully loaded cheeseburgers, dude. It was great. But yeah, you know, as long as you're keeping it in check,
right,
and you're not doing that every weekend or every week, like you can bounce back from that, and it's actually it can be good to help kind of reset your body and just give you a little more fuel. Work with the metabolism a little bit, and helps you stay on track. You know, it helps you not go insane from eating the same thing every day.
Yeah.
So that's good.
I don't know how you do it. I really don't.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's a lot of dedication. Like you have to have a goal in mind. You have to. For me, I know what works and what doesn't work with my body because I've been tracking my macros and what I eat for so long now that I can see changes when I switch stuff up. And that's kind of an awesome point to get talking about here is what I eat in a day or what Joey eats in a day is not going to work for you. You have to do a lot of trial and error in your diet to figure out what your body responds to well and what it doesn't. Like for instance, maybe now I think it was about 3 or 4 months ago, I started introducing white rice to my diet because I needed a new carb source. And for the first couple days, it felt fine, you know, nothing out of the usual. But then I realized something. I started getting my joints started feeling really inflamed. I started getting some knee pain, just general joint pain. And, you know, looking into it, rice is an inflammatory grain. And for Joey, that doesn't matter to him because his body doesn't react to it like mine does. But mine, you know, I was getting achy. My joints didn't feel good. So I cut that out and substituted in quinoa. And quinoa. It's fun to say, hard to spell. But that worked fantastic for me. So that's just kind of an instance of how what works for me is not going to work for you, is not going to work for your neighbor, your brother, whatever. It's different for everybody, and you need to run, you know, these micro experiments on yourself to see what is going to work for you and what's not.
Right. Just testing a certain diet out for a week.
Yeah.
Seeing the results, looking at, seeing how you look, what it says on the scale, how you feel, how you're able to carry yourself throughout the day. Just kind of giving yourself, like what Grant said, those minor like experiments with food and diet, and being able to find something that you enjoy doing, that you're going to stick to that plan. One of the most important parts is consistency.
Yeah, dude.
Just stay on it and keep going.
It is. And that's the thing. I'm glad you said that, because consistency, in my opinion, is the most important part of a diet. If you can eat a diet that, let's say, is 80% clean, 20% not so clean, but you can stick to that diet, you will see results, and you will get closer to your goal as long as your numbers are on track, you're feeling good, all that stuff. Stay consistent, stick with it, and you 100% will see results. Even if you're following, a subpar meal plan, or you're experimenting with something, you will see results as long as you stay consistent.
I'm a big advocate of the 80-20. That's kind of like what my diet is right now. I mean, on the weekends, I'll go out with my buddies, and I'll drink a little bit. And when I get on the other side of, drunk, I start to create bad decisions, like food-wise. I'm a responsible kid. But food-wise, I'll order toppers at night, or I'll dig into the sweets and I'll start munching on things that I probably shouldn't be munching on. But then that next morning, I hop right back into what I do for, like, that works for me, right? I hop back into clean eating. I hop back into a nice breakfast. I'll try to stay away from Herbert's that day and eat cleaner for the rest of the day. Just kind of getting those nutrients back into the system. And feel better and healthier. So
that's awesome, and that's so true, man. If you have a day where you get off track or whatever, the hardest part about that is getting back on track, and telling yourself that, hey, yeah, you messed up for that one day, but that's just one day in the grand scheme of things, and you're gonna get back on track, and you're gonna get better. You're gonna get closer to your goal the next day, because you have more control over what you just ate, the next day than what the 3 cheeseburgers you ate that one day. You know what I mean? So, very true. Something I want to talk about is nutrition timing. And this is, possibly getting into the more nitpicky stuff, but I'm going to give you guys the basics of my nutrition timing. And what that means to me is what macronutrients I eat and when. So, for my pre-workout meal, I have them all. I do the fats, I do the carbs, I do the protein. And that's just me. That's what works for me. I know a lot of guys don't like to have a super fat-heavy meal before they train because they feel weighed down. They don't feel as light. And, to each their own. Like, it works for me. My breakfast is my pre-workout meal. But for my post-workout meal, I do stay away from fats, because when you're training, your body wants to recover. So it wants protein and it wants carbs for, muscle glycogen and amino acids, to replenish what you lost during training. So for my post-workout meal, I try to keep as much fat out of it, so I only have those 2 macronutrients going into my body, instead of also fat slowing down the absorption rate of the carbs and the protein. One other thing that I nutrition time would be at my nighttime meal. My last meal of the day is eggs and egg whites, so all fat, all protein, no carbs. The reason I do that, there's 2 reasons I do that. The first one is carbs are primarily used for energy. You're using carbs for muscle glycogen, and that's what is going to give you energy to do stuff. How much energy do you need when you're sleeping?
None.
Yeah.
You're sleeping.
Yeah. So how does that make sense if you're doing a huge carb-heavy meal before bed?
Right.
If you're trying to put weight on, I would say go for that,
Yep.
But the reason I choose eggs, besides from the fact of it just being protein and fats, is because eggs are one of the only foods that have, growth hormone, all the amino acids in them and stuff like that, and fat digests slower than the other 2 macronutrients.
Right.
So when you're sleeping, that food is digesting slower in your body overnight. So you're already, taking in that food when you're sleeping. And it's going to help you when you get into your deep sleep, your REM sleep, which is when your body releases the most of its natural growth hormone, which is why I think sleep is so important. Because that's when you grow. That's when you recover. You don't grow in the gym. What you do in the gym is you tear up your muscles and you prime the recovery. You prime the growth.
Right.
And then as soon as you sleep, that's when you're going to repair the muscles. That's when you're going to grow.
It's almost like those Tinker Toys where you kind of crank it, like the little lever or handle.
Yeah.
And then when you sleep is when it kind of triggers and marches around and goes in circles.
I like that. That's a
when
good
you
analogy. That's a really good
gain
analogy.
all your muscle. Right.
Yeah. You training would be cranking up the little wind-up toy.
Yep.
And then you're holding on to that crank and you're not letting the toy move until you go to sleep. As soon as you let go, that's when you're sleeping. That's when you're going to start seeing the progress be made. The toys start dancing around or doing flips or whatever the fuck your toy does. But yeah, do you nutrition time at all? Like, are you that far down the rabbit hole yet?
No, I'm not. I'm not even close to the rabbit hole.
Yeah. Stay away.
I eat to see what my body needs. I haven't dove into it too much. I mean, I'd like to see where else I could go with what I'm doing now. Obviously, it'd be nice to lose some extra lbs, but I mean, for right now, I'm doing what works and I'm still seeing results. So for me, there's no need to switch.
Yeah, sure.
Eventually, I'm going to get into it just because this stuff interests me. And I'm ready to attack, and I love to do new things and try out different things that I could use in the future for whether that's on the clients that I have or me personally. So I'm here to learn just like you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good way to look at it. Which once I want to go to the next point here is one that I think is far overlooked when it comes to diet is water. I don't think enough people talk about water in a diet because, you're drinking. You hear that? I'll get some ASMR for you guys. That's Joey slugging a water. But dude, water is, people forget about it because you're drinking water all the time. You're drinking water throughout the day. You probably don't have enough water unless you're consciously thinking about drinking water. But there are studies that says water helps with muscle growth. Water helps with, nutrient absorption. It helps you just get more out of your body. It helps with everything in your body. Water's fantastic. It's the best supplement.
Water is love. Yeah. Water is life.
Yeah. So something that I do, which I guess could have been talked about during nutrition timing, but I saved it for water. I don't drink water with my meals. The reason I do that is because I want my stomach acid to be as pure as possible, not diluted by water. So my food breaks down. It's not as hard as on my body. It digests easier, and it does all that, shit. So that's why I don't drink water, 10 minutes before, during, and 10 minutes after my meals. I let everything kind of start to break down. And I've seen studies that say don't drink 45 and 45, before and after. But for me, I'm a thirsty guy. I drink a lot of water.
Dude slurps water like a horse. It's unbelievable.
It's important. It's important. So Joey, what are some of the things that you eat in a diet that you would consider like good food? What's some stuff that you like to eat in your diet that would be described as like a healthy food, we'll say?
Eggs, of course.
Yep.
I got some sort of bread from Costco. It's all organic, all natural. Some good stuff. It tastes pretty good. Can't complain. And then obviously my rice. It's just simple carbs. Sweet potatoes. I wouldn't say Herberts and Gerberts is healthy, but it's a high calorie dense meal.
It is. Yeah, it is.
So that way I'm able to, because when I go to the internship for that 6 hours, I don't really bring food with me there. So to be able to have fuel for that whole entire time, I have to have a denser lunch, or a more compact lunch.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And then, of course, my chicken and ground beef or ground turkey, avocados, or tuna, whatever it is. I mean, my only real bad meal is that Herberts and Gerberts
Sure.
sub, but I wouldn't consider it bad for the way it works with my body and kind of, I guess it fits I don't track my macros, but it fits in that general area, and I'm able to kind of work off of it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you touch on everything I wanted to touch on. I eat pretty much that same stuff, minus, the herbs, the rice. I don't do rice anymore.
Right.
But yeah, I eat that same stuff, man. And I think one of the most important foods that I eat is the sweet potatoes. I love the sweet potatoes, especially for recovery after a workout. Getting a lot of carbs in with your protein is crucial. I take my creatine after my workout. We'll talk about that a little later. But some foods that I avoid eating, some stuff that I avoid eating. Processed foods, highly processed foods I don't eat. Like at all. I think the most processed thing that I eat would be those high fiber tortillas. But those serve a purpose. Those help me with my fiber intake. Something else that I do not eat or try not to eat as much as possible is palm oil. Now, if you look at ingredients in a lot of stuff, a lot of proteins, protein bars, grain products like tortillas, whatever, there's a lot of those products that have palm oil in them. And the reason I stay away from that is because it lines your digestive tract with the palm oil, and it makes it harder for your body to absorb the nutrients that you're eating. So I stay away from that. I try to stay away from soy too for hormonal reasons. Soy, kill testosterone off. Broccoli and what's the white one called? I'm blanking right now. Cauliflower, yeah, the white broccoli.
The white broccoli.
I drew a blank. Hey, it's live, we have these things happen. But those are two foods that I eat that are high in, B vitamins, and that'll help with testosterone. So that's one that I really like to get on there. But that's pretty much all I avoid eating. I avoid eating a lot of sugars. I do fruit before my workout to get some sugary carbs in there for energy.
Yeah.
You avoid anything really?
Processed foods. That's honestly, my diet's kind of open. But I just know what to eat and what not to eat at times. And there's, oh man, I don't really say there's much that I don't eat, or won't eat. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
All right, so that was good. I think now we can.
I actually have a question for you.
Yeah, what's up, dude?
So, through all your knowledge of nutrition, right? Can you give me a ballpark of how much time you've spent searching and just learning about nutrition and how it affects your body? And
yeah, I could. A lot of time. Yeah, I don't even know how to start thinking about that. But my freshman year, man, whenever I had free time, I only took 13 credits my freshman year, so I had quite a bit of free time, and they were mostly gen eds, so it was easy. Every time I had free time during the day, I would be on YouTube or on the internet, looking about diet stuff, training stuff, and not for the sole purpose of finding a macro split or finding what to eat, but finding what works for other people so I can test that on myself and see if it also works for me. Okay. So quite a bit of time. It takes a lot of time to research all that stuff. There's a lot. There's so much when it comes to nutrition, man. I mean, it's a never-ending rabbit hole, really. You jump in a little bit and then you see how far down it really goes, and it's deep. There's a lot of depth to it. Let's talk supplementation here, Joey. What do you? We might have touched on this in one before, so we'll just do a quick rundown. But what supplements do you take? When do you take them? Why?
So I've gotten off track of the vitamins, the men's sport vitamins, the fish oil. Usually, when I'm at home and it's easier for me, I guess, I'll always have the fish oil and the men's sport vitamin. Just to get some nutrients. The fish oil is huge for joint health.
I
Kind
couldn't
of
agree more.
almost
Yeah.
like greasing up the wheels,
Yeah.
essentially,
Yeah.
is what it does. And then, of course, protein. I have a protein that kind of breaks down over time, so I don't get all 40 grams of protein.
Is it like
right
a
away.
casein whey mix or?
Oh man, I'd have to look at it.
Okay.
I didn't look into it too
Okay.
much. But it's a slow release protein. So within 7 hours, I'll get all the protein that I had
Yeah.
those 7 hours. The 7 hour. Before,
Yeah,
beforehand.
that's what it sounds like to me. Is it's a
Right.
whey
Yeah.
and casein mix.
I think so.
Yeah.
Let's see. I was doing creatine for a while, and then the powder just tasted way too bad, so I stopped doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously pre-workout. Pre-workout's huge.
Yeah.
I absolutely love pre-workout. At times, I feel like I'm addicted, but it's totally okay because I'm doing well.
Yeah. No. Totally.
So,
Well, let's see here. My day starts with I do BCAAs in the morning. I always do those in the morning. Or if it's a day where I don't have school,
Yeah.
I'll wait to take those until when I'm training. But then, yeah, I'll do a pre-workout. I'll do a pre-workout as well. And then immediately after I'm done training at the gym, I bring my protein and creatine. I get both of those in right away because creatine is the most important supplement you can take right next to protein. It's the most researched. It's the most scientifically proven. You know, it does work 100%. So creatine is extremely important. But then, you know, I look at my sweet potato as a supplement too. That's, you know, 70 grams of carbs I have after my workout. And there's a bunch of studies that say creatine works best with, you know, 50 grams of protein and 50 grams of carbs. It helps it. So I do that and make sure to get at least that. And then in the morning, I do my vitamins. I take a multivitamin. I'm going to get off that soon because there's not synthetic vitamins like a multivitamin. It doesn't absorb. You hardly absorb any of it. You end up pissing a lot of it out. It gives you expensive piss is what a lot of people say. And it's true. You know, I've looked at a lot of studies. So I'm going to start taking like a super... Yeah, it does, man. I'm going to start taking like a super green powder or something, getting more non-synthetic vitamins from, you know, vegetables and stuff like that. But then I do fish oil every morning, turmeric. I'll do CoQ10 for cardiovascular health, vitamin B6, B12, and then
I do like vitamin B12.
Yeah, and that's important for hormone stuff, you know, testosterone production. That's the main...
little pep in your step,
yeah,
too.
that's the main reason of that. But then that's pretty much, that is, you know, all of the vitamins I take. I do take a magnesium vitamin before I go to sleep because there's a lot of studies that show magnesium helps with sleep, and it's a lot better for you than melatonin. Melatonin will shut off your natural melatonin receptors if you have too much of it, whereas magnesium will just elicit a natural melatonin response, so you're not dumping artificial melatonin in, which in turn shuts off your melatonin production system in your body, which you don't want because then you will not be able to sleep without it. So yeah, that's pretty much my sups and vitamins and everything I do in a day. My morning routine, I do black coffee, at least 1 cup every morning.
Yeah.
Helps with fat mobilization
Okay.
into the bloodstream. There's a lot of studies you guys can look into that if you want. It's really interesting, actually. But something as simple as black coffee in the morning, dude, that'll do wonders for you.
Yeah, I try to stay away from coffee in the morning just because it makes me sweat, like, throughout the whole day.
Yeah.
No matter where I'm sitting or doing, like, I could just literally be sitting on the couch watching TV, and next thing you know, I got stains under my armpits down to my waist.
Mm-hmm.
It's just ridiculous. So I try to stay away from it in the morning at least.
Yeah.
But
Now, we'll wrap things up here. The last topic I want to talk about is fats. So fats, one of the 3 macronutrients. The reason they're so important, and a lot of people, I think it's all of the big businesses who make fat-free this and low fat this, they call it the light versions or whatever. And don't get me wrong, like if you're trying to make something fit in your macros, low fat cheese is fine. But if you're trying to cut body fat, fats are not the macronutrients that you want to cut out. You want to keep fats in, because hormones are made up of fatty acids, so you're getting a lot of those from your saturated, monounsaturated, polyunsaturated fats, even your trans fats. A little bit of trans fats isn't bad in your day, but saturated, mono, and polyunsaturated are the ones that I focus on getting. And dude, they're going to help you so much with your hormones, as well as carbohydrates, just because of body fat percentages. You eat a lot of carbs, you're going to gain weight. I think that's because carbs' main goal is energy. So you have this extra energy if you're eating too many carbs and you're not using all the energy from the carbs. You're going to end up storing that energy in your body, which is what fat is. It's stored energy.
Correct.
When you have more body fat, your hormones are at a more, and I'm not saying 20% body fat. I'm saying, you can get down to 15, maybe even 10 in some people, and still have a healthy hormonal balance. But those fats are really what drives hormones, and poly and monounsaturated fats especially is what's huge in producing testosterone in the body. So, you got anything else to add, Joey?
I don't think so. I mean, this is you.
Yeah.
This is what you do. This is what you know. You're good at this stuff.
It's fun to me, man. Like, it's fun. And you have to have fun with it, dude. Like, I have fun with it, and I understand some people listening could be like, holy shit, dude, you eat the same thing every single day. Like, I don't buy anything you're saying right now. You're 100% tired of that diet. You don't want to eat like that anymore. Like, and dude, I do love what I eat, and that's the thing. Find healthy, whole foods that you like to eat and you look forward to eating.
Right.
And that'll make it so much easier. That'll help with the consistency and the adherence. Like, I look forward to eating my breakfast. I look forward to eating my lunch, My first dinner is probably my least favorite meal of the day. It's kind of bland, but second, before bed, that's my shit.
And like with healthy eating, you can make it like taste good too. It doesn't have to
That's
be
so true.
Like perfect. Like you can toss things in there that and spice it up a little bit and
hot sauce.
Toss some flavor. Hot sauce is huge. Hot sauce is a big one. Cholula, Frank's Red Hot. It don't matter. Both of them are good.
Yeah, I want to put on the record right now that Frank's is my preferred hot sauce.
I'm a huge Cholula guy. Grant introduced me to Cholula, and I just can't hop off of it.
I was on that train for a while. That's good shit. But no joke, man. If you're using it sparingly, dude, it's not going to make a difference.
Right.
Right. It adds flavor. It helps with consistency. Use hot sauce. Use seasonings that don't have a lot of sodium and don't have sugars or anything like that in them. And you can spice up your meals easy, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
But that's going to bring us to the end of our first kind of fitness topic podcast with me and Joey, and we'll refine these. This one was pretty unstructured. We had some talking points, but we were just kind of jaw jacking with each other. So thanks for listening. You got any closing remarks, Joey?
No, I mean, I'm just excited to continue this journey with you guys and learn as much as you guys are. I'm excited to see what we're going to be able to do together. Thank you for listening, fellas and ladies.